When it comes to wildlife and bird photography, what if I told you there were just a few easy settings in the Canon R5 Mark II that could increase your chances of capturing that perfect photo? Well, in today's video, I'm going to take a deep dive into these settings and show you what's worked for me to get photos like this and this. And stay till the end and I'll reveal that one simple setting that'll change the way you shoot wildlife videos forever, so stick around. Hey, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, my name's Rob and I appreciate your checking out this video. So let's talk about camera settings for wildlife and bird photography. The settings we'll cover in this video can also apply to other modern digital camera systems as well. So I'm going to go through the menu touching only on the main settings needed so this doesn't get boring. Also keep in mind I'm far from perfect at this stuff, but I like sharing what I've learned along my journey. And I encourage you to leave comments with your tips and tricks so we can all learn together. Also, if I skip over a setting you're wondering about, just ask me in the comments and I'll leave my 2 cents there. Okay, let's set this thing up for capturing those challenging bird photos. Okay, let's dive into this menu and I'll show you how I set this up. We'll start here in the left red menu and work our way across to the other side. First, I shoot on CRAW. Basically, CRAW is about 50% smaller files than RAW files and retains much more image data than JPEG files. CRAW is more efficient with burst shooting than RAW, and there's no noticeable difference I can see between the two. Then in the second tab, I set metering mode to evaluative metering. This causes the camera to look at the whole frame with emphasis on the focus point, balancing highlights, shadows, and midtones, creating consistent exposures throughout burst shooting. Here's 6 continuous shots of a warbler back to back, and you can see the exposure stays consistent throughout the series. So then I make sure detect priority auto exposure while autofocus is turned on, so the camera will prioritize metering on the detected subject, which in this case is a bird. What this does is wherever the AF point is where the camera prioritizes metering. Next, I set the picture style to fine detail or standard. Either one of these works just fine. Let's go to the 4th tab and talk briefly about white balance. I usually use Kelvin white balance, but some prefer auto white balance or maybe the various other choices here. Sandy uses the cloudy white balance setting because it sits right around 6,000 Kelvin temperature, which is good for bright, overcast, and sunny conditions. I've got another video on this channel where I cover this in detail, so if you're interested, go watch that video next. Then under tab 5, nothing to change here. Okay, here in tab 6, I set the drive mode to H+, to get the maximum shots off so I can catch a moment like this shot of the burrowing owl carrying what looks to be an orange kangaroo rat. With the burst mode, I was able to get quite a few wing positions to choose from. I probably wouldn't get shots like this if I were shooting at a lower frame rate. So on the camera I changed the depth of field button, shown here, to select the drive mode on the camera so I can quickly change modes for those times where I don't need high frame burst. Then I have pre-continuous shooting enabled so I can get that additional 15 shots in the buffer for those times when I'm likely to be slow hitting the shutter button when the action occurs. For example, this meadowlark suddenly took off from the top of this sagebrush and I was able to get this shot thanks to pre-capture. I won't use pre-capture all the time though because it can really fill up your memory card fast. Okay, tab 7. I turn off image stabilization mode because I'm using a super telephoto lens, and if IS is turned on, it'll produce unwanted corrective adjustments. If I need image stabilization, I turn it on the lens. Okay, now here's where the real magic comes in. Let's go to the purple autofocus menu. Under tab 1, you'll see this whole area tracking servo AF option. I'm experimenting with this set to on with both birds on a branch with clean backgrounds and birds in trees and bushes with busy backgrounds. I'm still practicing with this setting to see if it lives up to its intended purpose. So far it's been pretty amazing. What it's supposed to do is track the bird throughout the entire frame after you obtain initial focus on the bird, and should ignore any obstacles. Then over here in tab 2, I set subject to detect to animals. Then there's this eye detection setting that's set to disable. That's because I have my camera set up for back button focus, which we'll talk about later. Stay with me here because the next setting is crucial for making the focus point stick on the bird. Okay, now in the purple AF menu tab 3, I switched this to M for manual, and right here is the good part. I'll adjust the tracking sensitivity and XL decel tracking sliders. I set the tracking sensitivity to -2, which keeps the focus locked onto the subject like glue. And I set the XL decel to +2 to enhance the servo autofocus responsiveness to fast-moving subjects. These two settings combined maximizes the stickiness to the bird and the consistent focus as it moves around, and even tracks the bird through obstacles and branches without losing focus. These settings are very effective at keeping up with the little dodgy birds like this ruby crowned kinglet. Okay, now in the fourth tab, I set the servo first image priority to focus priority. This will cause the camera to only take a photo when the subject is in focus. And similarly, I set the one-shot AF release priority to focus. And I leave lens drive when AF impossible set to off, because with the super telephoto lens, it'll search too much when focus isn't achieved, causing it to zoom way off the target. Under tabs 5, 6, and 7, I don't mess with any of these settings. So there's nothing in the rest of these menus that applies to the settings we're talking about today, except for if you plan to shoot using back button focus. Now I recommend setting your Canon R5 II for back button focus if you photograph birds. So guys, this is really easy to set up. Let me take you through the steps. Step 1. Let's go to the Customize Buttons for Shooting menu under the green menu tab and highlight the shutter button. Push the Set button and choose Metering Start, and push the Set button again. Step 2. Scroll to the AF On button, push the Set button and choose Eye Detection AF, and then push the Set button. Then step 3, scroll over to the asterisk button and press the Set button, select Metering and AF Start. With Metering and AF Start highlighted, press the Info button and check the box beside AF Start Position and the box for Spot Detection. Then uncheck all the remaining boxes and push the Menu button. Okay, and finally step 4. Go back to the purple menu, tab 1, and choose AF Area and press Set. Then choose the top icon and press Set. In here, choose Spot AF, then press Set again. And that's how I have back button focus set up. It takes some time getting used to, but in my opinion, it's well worth it. Now all you have to do is point your camera at the subject, press and hold the AF On button, and watch it detect the eye. Then press the shutter button when you want to take the photo. And if your bird is in a tree or a place with obstacles, you can press the asterisk button while the spot focus point is on the subject, and it will acquire focus through the obstacles. Now our camera should be all set up for bird photography. Hey, before we go, I promised to tell you about one simple setting that would change the way you shoot wildlife videos forever. And that's to shoot at 60 or 120 frames per second. This will enable you to slow down the video and create a more dramatic feel. It also helps viewers to see the behavior of the wildlife more clearly. Now you've got to admit that works pretty good. So set your camera up, get outside and create some art. And if you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe, and please go check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.